This changed just a little bit from last night, but I want to. So tired, my eyes are still crossed. There's a kind of pain most people will never understand. The kind where freedom is within reach, but you must walk away from it. Where your child's laughter echoes in your ears. Oof. But you know you won't hear it again for years. Where the person who's stood beside you through hell is left to raise her baby alone. This is not just a prison sentence. This is a heartbreak wrapped with handcuffs. Welcome to the Power of One Voice. I am your host, Rare Soul. And today's story is a soul-deep confession of pain, survival, and goodbyes. We sit with a young man standing at the edge of everything, about to turn himself in to serve 6 years in the Colorado prison. A father of 3, with street soldier, a product of foster care, and a man who finally got clean, only to lose his freedom again. He lived a life most couldn't survive. Now he's walking himself back into a cell. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. As a father fighting not to vanish from his children's lives. This is not just a story about incarceration. It's about addiction, love, betrayal, trauma, and the broken system that raise our men only to bury them. So lean in, because this story is not for the faint of heart. This is a story for the broken, the healed, and the unheard. So let's begin. Texas boy, I'm going to bring you up I was trying to bring you up with the mouse on my computer. Hello, hello.
You will grow it soon.
How you doing?
Ah,
You better than last night?
I'm trying to be. I'm just, oh man, my son's awake, and I got to, I got to spend the night with my son. So,
It's amazing.
yeah, I'm here. After my baby mamas, and so they're upstairs. I'm waiting for them to get up so you can come back downstairs.
Good morning, Crackle.
Hey,
So I just want to say welcome. This is Texas boy. He has to walk back into the state penitentiary today, and he's going to tell his story. If you feel uncomfortable at any time, or if there's something that you don't want to answer, maybe you just need to take a break because I know this is an emotional day for you. Please just let me know, and we'll get you on teacup, and you just take the moment that you need. Okay.
yes, man.
Okay. So we're going to start with abuse, addiction, mental health, trauma, and survival.
All right.
What is your earliest memory of your home?
My earliest memory of my home is, I could say when I was the time about my dad went to prison around 3 or 4. That's my earliest memory. But that was the only memory I have too, is me going to work with him at that farmer's market, every day, and seeing him cheating on my mom with another woman. That was my earliest memory. That's all I could remember from anything in my home. Just with my mom was just crazy.
Can you talk about a time when you realized your mother's abuse wasn't normal?
Yeah. I realized that what by the age of 5 that I was um I was in a bad situation. My brothers and my sisters and me. Um, it was to the point where I started having to learn how to cook for myself. Me and my sister. So I'm 5 years old. She's 6 years old. We had to cook our own food for my other two brothers and both of us. When my mom wouldn't, she wasn't getting up to 9 o'clock at night. She would sleep all day and leave it. When she wakes up, leave and go to the club and party. So we had to do this on our own. And then when she would come back, and guys would see that she had kids, or uh, we wouldn't, keep quiet throughout the day until 9 o'clock at night, and she would get real angry and aggressive and abusive. Um, she would tape us down to chairs and stuff, and beat us with 2x4s, and throw hammers and tools at us. She broke a glass couple of my brothers. Like she was just real abusive, and it was a scary situation to the point that at that age we were planning on taking my baby brother who was still in diapers and my other brother. We were just planning on taking off in the middle of the night, just finding somewhere safe. That's how scared we were to be in the house with her. And it would beat us to the point where we couldn't even sit down or we couldn't even walk, and she still made us go to school like that.
Um, what did it feel like to be duct taped to a chair and punished the way that you was as a child?
Those are the scariest moments. When she put out the tape and the 2x4, those were moments that I didn't think that I was gonna ever make it out alive of, or I didn't know how long it was gonna be, because I knew once that duct tape and those 2x4s came out, once I got taped down to that chair, or my brothers and sisters got taped down to that chair, I knew it was gonna be for a long time. Uh, I just didn't know how long it was gonna be, and I knew it was gonna be painful. I knew she was gonna inflict the most pain that she could with everything she had in her, and she did.
So sad you had to go through that. I'm sorry. How did that kind of abuse affect your trust in people, and then especially in women?
Um, I got a lifelong PTSD because of that. I get anxiety. It built my hatred for women. Um, yeah, the way that I am towards women, or that, you know, it just, I just, basically, I don't know how to explain it. Like, I don't trust a woman at all. I don't. I don't. I, just, I go into self defense mode. Like, I feel like I gotta protect myself no matter what, at any cost.
Okay.
Against a woman. That's just how I feel. And
Do you want to take a break?
no, no, no. I'm good.
You were sentenced to 11 years at just 10 years old. What was going through your mind at that time?
At that time, I was pretty scared. I was, I didn't know what to expect. It was my first time going to juvie, and uh, I was a little bad kid in juvie, y'all. I was always fighting with the guards. Um, and I had my little homie that was in there with me. It was just the two of us against the world, and we were just fighting hard at young ages. And once I got comfortable, I didn't really care. I just started doing my own thing. But then when I went to court and I got sentenced to 11 years, that was a whole different story. I didn't know what was going on then. So I was like, okay, I don't know what that means. So I didn't understand the court system and the court lingo that was, so I didn't know what was going on. So I just went back to my cell. A couple weeks later, I'm getting on this van, shackled up, and I was like, okay, well, they're probably taking me to like some kind of facility, like some kind of a boot camp or some kind of like home or something like that. And I put up to the juvenile prison in Texas, which they call Texas Youth Commission. And yeah, that's where it all began. My first day there was uh, was horrible. I got into 3 fights my first day,
Wow.
and but at that age, I made a name for myself that first day too. And from there on, it was just It was an easy ride.
When did you first get introduced to substance, and what role did your mom play in that?
Um, I got out. I didn't do the whole 11 years straight, but I still have the 11 years sentence. But I got out on good behavior, and I was 13 years old when I got out. My my first day out, my mom had introduced me to marijuana, and so I got high, and I didn't like it. I ended up falling asleep, but when I woke up, like that same day, my mom ended up introducing me to cocaine, and I built an addiction at 13 years old because my mom kept giving me coke, and it was just, I don't know, it's just something that I enjoy the feeling of it, and it built a lifelong addiction uh, of cocaine use and addiction and abuse.
When did you first? I'm sorry, I read that. How has PTSD, bipolar disorder, depression, and anxiety shaped the way that you see yourself?
Um, I, s- I thought that I was okay with, being who I was. I thought because, the way that I am, I felt it was okay because I'm protecting myself from women. I'm protecting myself from everything that I experienced in jail. I thought that, that the person that I became, the monster I became, I thought that it was okay because it put a lot of fear in people. I had people and then, had people walking on eggshells around me back at the time. And so I was like, yeah, that's okay. It's okay to be this person. I mean, everybody was like that to me growing up. I was always just getting hurt. And now that I'm older, and now I can protect myself and now I can do what I want. And so I accepted that person that was, that I was, and I embraced it and I lived it. And, I mean, I didn't realize till later in life that, that wasn't what what I wanted to be. If I wanted to, I guess, find love in life later on, or um, get the opportunities that I needed, like in life. So eventually, I was like, I had to find that one person to help me change it all. Yeah, it took a long time.
Do you feel like your childhood was stolen from you, and how do you grieve that?
Yeah, my baby mama thinks it was stolen from me. At the time, I didn't think it was because I didn't realize, because I was living locked up. I mean, up to me doing that abuse and doing that time, I was thinking that I was still a child. Little did I know that I was already an adult, and at the age of 5, cooking and stuff for myself and my brothers and sisters. I didn't realize that I was already doing. I was an adult basically because we're washing our clothes, our own laundry, we're cooking our own meals like from scratch. We're cleaning. We're going to the store for ourselves at that age to go get groceries. So I didn't realize that. Yeah, I was already that my childhood was stolen from me. I didn't realize that until after I had a discussion with my baby mama, and she was like, "You never even had a childhood, you know?" She's like, "That's why sometimes you are still a child, you know." Like sometimes the things that you say, or sometimes the things that you do, it's like you're that child reaching, that child inside of you is still reaching out for somebody, needed somebody, and I didn't realize that, until she just brought up some of the things that, like, I get anxiety separation still. She was like, that's that child reaching out for somebody, that child that was stolen from you is trying to come back and make up for it.
The system in the streets, foster care, incarceration, identity, gang life, early detachment. What was your first foster care experience like, and how did that affect you?
This the Can you repeat that again?
What was your first foster care experience like,
My,
and
oh,
how did that affect your sense of stability?
my first foster care, when I went into the foster care system at 8 years old, before I went to juvenile prison. It was pretty. It was scary, and even though I knew that my mom, um, she did all those things to us, uh, I was scared to leave. I was scared to leave her. We didn't really go. We didn't wander past the front yard with my mom. Uh, she always kept us inside. She always kept us, or and within these boundaries of the house. And so when they took us, I was. It was scary, and they took us to this little um, kids home called Buccaneers Children's Home in Dallas, Texas, and it was pretty scary because I've never been anywhere, and my mom never let us go. And I cried. We cried. Me and my brothers and sisters, we cried. We fought. They had to bring all these people from CPS to come get us. They had to restrain us. We were just. We knew what the situation we were in, my mom, but we were scared to leave my mom. And uh, they separated all of us, which made it even scarier. Um, which made us even more, I guess, hysterical and panicked. And we were fighting off, trying to fight off these people that were taking us away. They separated us, put us in different buildings, and I never got to see my brothers and sisters the whole time I was in there.
Mm.
And the only time I got to see them was when my mom would come in to do the visits, and then they would bring us from our different buildings to my mom. But this was supposed to be a boys and girls home, but they treated us like we were in prison. And that was pretty bad. I didn't like it. When I realize it now, I realized that those facilities they put us in was like a prison, and I was like, damn, I didn't deserve that. I didn't do nothing. Um,
Comment. I'm sorry,
why did I?
I don't mean to cut you off, but comment says you're very courageous for sharing your story, bro.
Oh yeah, I faded train. Appreciate it, man. It's just it's just something I need to do, I guess. Um,
Um, can you describe the difference between your relationship with your sister and the relationship with your other siblings?
um, my brother Vincent, I don't know. He just uh, he ended up marrying my ex. But I'm not mad about it. I just, I cut them out of my life. I'm happy for him. Uh, I'm not gonna fight him over a woman. But for some reason, he has it. He's mad at me, and he doesn't. I was like, "Why are you mad at me? You're the one that got married to my ex. So why am I the problem?" But I just cut him out of my life. I was like, you know what? Go be happy, have fun. Live your life. Y'all deserve each other. But um, uh, he's no longer in my life. My other brother, I don't talk to him either. I don't want to go into details about that one.
Okay.
Um, he's the reason why I went to prison as an adult. And then my sister, she's my little rider. We she lives in New York, but I mean we haven't seen each other in over 10 years. Uh, but she does call me from time to time, and if I need help, she's always going to be there. My sister is she is my number one rider sometimes. Well, she does talk shit, and she does get mad at me, and she does say this, and she says things, but I know with her, she doesn't really mean
Yeah. So you'd say you trusted her?
it. I mean, yeah, she's been my rider, she's been one of my, and she's not my main support in life, but she's just someone that I can call if I need something.
No.
Like if I'm doing real bad.
Okay.
Oh,
So your father was locked up for most of your life. What was that like trying to build a relationship with him after 17 years?
um, I felt like I felt like I felt like my dad, even though he was gone, I felt like he was never gone. I felt like he was never like he was always there. It felt like he was always there because he stayed in contact the whole time he was in prison. If things needed to be done, I mean, all he had to do was just make a phone call, and things were done. We didn't want for nothing. We didn't need for nothing. My dad, like his presence was still felt at the home all these years. And even though it was like a long time since I've seen him, but uh, when he finally did come, I mean, my life, like he was involved in everything in my life while he was in prison. Like there was not a moment that he didn't miss. And it was a big influence. I ain't gonna lie to you, I was a daddy's boy. So throughout the prison, that never, him being locked up, that never faded, you know. And when I got out, shit, it was, I guess it was just kind of weird. It was because I wasn't used to him being around in person. I was just used to him, you know, being there through letters, through phone calls, or through other people that he would send to the house, you know, to if we needed anything to get stuff done. And so to have him there, it was exciting, but at the same time, it was just like it was just something I'm not used to. But having him around all the time, having him with me all the time. But I liked it, I loved it, and there was something. I guess it was something that I needed because it built. I just felt comfortable. I felt like I was loved. I felt like the parent that I didn't have in life was there for me. Um, I don't know. He tried to make up. He did his best. You know, he was gone for like what 18 years,
Hmm.
and he did everything that he could. I already had my son at the time, and I had my daughter on the way. And anything that everything that he missed out on with me, he sure did. He definitely made it back up with my son. He made back up for it.
That's awesome. That he was able to make that up with your child. Um, do you ever feel like you were destined to follow his path, even if you didn't want to?
My mom, that's funny because my mom was like, "You're never gonna be shit when you grow up. You're never gonna do shit when you grow up. You're gonna be just like your father, you know." And
Hmm.
in my head, I was like, "Well, cool. That's who I want to be like. I want to be like my father." I was like, I've heard all the stories of my dad growing up from everybody, you know. People would be like, "Oh, that's your dad," and just throw money at me, or
Hmm.
my dad would spoil us. Like my dad was pretty known. And so I was like, yeah, that's who I want to be. I was like, shit, all these dudes, my dad makes a phone call and these dudes jump. And he's been locked up all these years. That's what I want to be like. I want people to jump when I say to do something. You know, I want people to do that just in case I get locked up. So I thought it was okay, you know. And I was like, well, yeah, I want to be like my dad.
I think most boys do want to grow up and be like their dad.
I didn't,
Good or
yeah,
bad.
I didn't know about everything that would come with it, though. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
I made sure I did everything I could to be just like my dad.
So we've got uh, Faded Train. There's still genuine love in people's hearts, bro. That may not be your family.
Yeah, I got more love from people outside my family than I've ever did from anybody inside my family.
How does that make
Uh,
you feel?
that's like that's what I really don't really talk to my family like that. But I remember realizing not a lot of there's a lot of love out there in the world. There's a lot of good people out there in the world. Um,
Okay. Um, what was the turning point when you got involved in the streets in Dallas?
I guess my street life began really when my mom started my addiction with cocaine. When I was 13 and I got out, and I was like, my mom. I mean, they gave me back to my mom at the age of 13 because the state didn't want me no more. See, the foster parents, people didn't want me no more. So they had no choice but to put me back with my mom. But by that time, my mom already knew I wasn't putting up with anything. And like the first time she tried to do it again, when I got out, I went into defense mode. And um, I know it's gonna suck to hear this, but I knocked her ass out. I knocked her out, and I was like, "You're not doing that no more. You're not. You're not gonna be doing what you did to me at age 4 years old till I went to foster care. That's not happening no more. That's out the window." So I went into panic mode. I guess I don't know what you want to call it, but I knocked her out, and I made it clear that those days were over with. That abuse, that duct taping me to a chair and beating me with a 2x4, was dead and gone. I'm not that kid no more.
Does it bother you now that you had to do what you had to do to your mother?
No, it don't bother me, and I don't regret it because yeah, fight or flight. If faded train, yeah, it was fight or flight, and I don't regret it because I felt like if I wouldn't have done that, she would have felt like she would be able to still do that to me, you know.
Hmm.
So um, I just had to make it known. Hey, yeah, those days are over.
Okay. So you served 10 years of a 50-year sentence. What did prison take from you and what did it reveal?
Okay, this is the reason why I don't talk to my other brother. Um, but because of him, I ended up doing my time in prison. I had shot some people, and my brother ended up snitching me out. Um, he didn't have to snitch me out because the cops didn't even know who to look for. In Dallas, Texas, on the east side, every Mexican is bald headed or tattoos. So we all look the same. So all they were looking for was a bald headed Mexican with tattoos. At the time, I was bald. So they were putting every bald headed Mexican dude over. But I didn't even live on the east side. I'm from Oak Cliff. So I was like, I had nothing to worry about. I was like, the only reason I went to the east side was to see my mom and my brother, you know, so my mom could see my son. I had my son with me. And so I didn't care. I was like, well, shit. Mostly everybody on the east side is bald headed and Mexican. I'm from Oak Cliff. They're not gonna looking over here. And then my brother ended up giving me up. He gave on my name and stuff, and I don't know, it was right here in the back. He gave him my name and stuff, and that's how they found out who I was. And yeah, they ended up eventually SWAT team and everything came to my apartment. Um, but I made it out. I made it. They didn't catch me that day. I made it out. They ended up catching me jaywalking.
Wow.
Yeah, I was jaywalking. That's how they found me for jaywalking across the street. And
I didn't even know that was still a thing.
well, yeah, and Texas is um they still these shady police officers will still do it.
Um, so tell us about the relationship that broke you and did you love what did you love about her? Can't hear you.
You know what I mean? Um, my relationship with was my the one before this one. Well, I'm not single now, but the one before this baby mama. Um, she oh man, she messed my head up for real. Like, huh? What do I what did I love about her?
Yeah, what did you love about her?
Oh,
Well, tell us what broke the relationship and then what did you love about her?
what broke the relationship was the cheating, the lying,
I'm sorry,
the
can I just can I have you pause? Faded train. Yes. Yes, it is okay to be in here. We are over 18. It is posted, and this is a safe place. It's non-judgment. We don't make anybody answer questions they do not feel comfortable answering. At any time, he can put it on teacup. He can dismiss the question if he'd like. There's nothing here. This is his platform. I'm just providing a safe place for him to tell his story. Okay. I apologize. I just wanted to make sure that we had that clear. That this is a safe place, and I have amazing mods that'll make sure it stays safe. Okay, Texas boy,
yes.
if you'd like to continue, I'm sorry.
Um, she had basically it got to the point where I ended up going to a mental institution because like all the stuff she had me believing that wasn't true, you know. She had me believing that my own mind was messed up, and so I ended up trying to commit suicide. I ended up in a mental institution. Like that last relationship broke me down. Like she would do things, and like other dudes would answer her phone calls, or I'll see her with other dudes. But she had me believing that I was seeing things, that I was hearing things. She had me believing that I was really, um, I was really mentally uh, off.
Mm-hmm.
And these dudes would call me live with her next to them, but I was, and she would have me believe that I made that shit up, that that I'm hallucinating, whatever you want to call it. And I ended up, I don't know how she was able to get into my mind like that and have me believe that type of stuff. I'll be calling her on her phone, and other dudes will be answering her phone and stuff like that, and she had me believe that I was hearing things, and that she never picked up the phone, or that she never got the calls. She had me believe all that, and I mean, I just don't know how. She's pretty good, I guess. I just don't know how she was able to do that without me realizing,
Right.
what was going on.
So when did you start noticing the red flags, and what made you ignore them?
Um, to be honest, I don't even remember when I started realizing it. But I started, um, I guess I started right. Like, fuck, it came, something's not right, Cause like, I mean, like I said, I ended up trying to commit suicide because I love this girl so much. I ended up in a mental institution because I really thought I was losing my mind. And it's just, I started acting back out. Uh, I started, uh, I just, I became angry, and I just wanted to hurt somebody, and get my revenge, and that's all that was on my mind was revenge. So I guess my mind went into like a rage mode, and I just went all out. Um, I finally caught up with her uh, when she was with another dude, and I tried to kill her right there on the in front of everybody. Uh, I found her, and I just grabbed her by the neck, and I just started choking the life out of her. I mean, the best that I could, and I don't know why I snapped out of it, but I snapped out of it, and like I let her go, and uh, I just I was like, you know what, I just need to find somebody else. So from then, I just started my search. Yeah, I was still kind of sleeping with her, from time to time, but I just started looking around for somebody else. I was like, I'm not gonna end up back in a mental institution again because of her, or back in prison.
Right. Um, what was the moment you discovered that she was involved in the sex industry, and how did that change things for you?
The moment, what?
That she was involved in the sex industry?
Oh, oh, the porn industry. Yeah. I found video. Well, I didn't even know. Okay, so the whole time I was in prison, she was like, I'm off to be on this show. It's being recorded in Texas and Dallas. I'm at the studio. We're recording the scenes and shit like that. Man, no, this is when I was before prison. And so, yeah, before prison, she was telling me this. And there's like a law office and everything. So I thought it was legit. I would never go. I could never go in, but you had to like key fobs. And so I thought it was something legit. But I didn't find out till after I got out of prison that it was not legit.
Right.
I found out that porn was really happening on. It was called Mom's Gone Wild, right? That's what it was called. The videos for porn.
Bree, we'll get your questions at the end if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, it was Mom's Gone Wild. Yeah, so I found out she was doing porn for a porn company called momsgonewild.com. Huh? And somebody sent me her videos, and I was like, wait, what? This is what's been going on. I was like, so I've been with this woman, I was like, for fucking 4 years, and this whole time, she's telling me she works at this job and this job, but she never wants me to bring her lunch. She never like. She's just so secretive about everything, and that's when I found out. I was like, those are porn studios. Those are where porn is getting recorded and stuff like that. And yeah, I guess somebody sent. I forgot who sent me the link. I don't know who, but they sent it to me, and then they sent me a bunch more out following after that. And I was like, wait, what the fuck? So this whole time she's a porn star behind my back. It was just, God, that's where it just.
You mentioned that she manipulated you and blamed you. When did you start believing her lies?
When did I stop believing her lies? I stopped believing them when I got out of prison this time. Um, I guess, yeah, she had been messing with this dude before, like a couple months before I went to prison. And then, like, I was doing my music career. I had just started my music career, and she wouldn't even come to none of my shows when I was doing my shows and stuff. She wouldn't come to none of them, and I was like trying to figure out why. Like, why would want to come to my shows? Realizing that some of my music she was giving to the other dude and helping him out, and going to his shows.
Oh wow.
And man, then she tried to get me to do music with him, and I was like, why would I? I was like, she's like, I'm gonna introduce you to him. He's real cool, but little did I know she was sleeping with this dude, messing with him the whole time. And then yeah, I had called. That's the one that ended up calling me to let me know that she was messing around, cheating on me, and lying, making me manipulating me and stuff. That she was a narcissist. That he's the one that ended up reaching out to me to in DM to let me know what was really going on.
How did you become the man she accused you of being? And how do you feel about that now?
I mean, the man that she accused me of being, I ended up becoming that man. She ended up calling me, a cheater, a liar. Uh, I mean, I ended up becoming everything she told me. Once I found out everything, I became just that. I became that person just to get back at her, just to make her, feel a little something of what I'm feeling.
Yeah. Did you feel any kind of regret from that?
Do I have regret from that? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I have regret for it because I ended up being that person longer than what I wanted to be. I
Hmm.
didn't want to be that person to anybody else, but I ended up becoming that person to everybody else.
Gotcha.
I guess that's what ruined this last relationship with uh with this baby mama.
Okay. Do you think your trust issues with women come from your mother, your relationships, or both?
I think they come from both. Um, I don't trust women. I mean, on the outside, I seem fine around women or whatever, but deep down, I just uh, I want to love them. I want to find love, but at the same time, I hate them. I'm very protected by myself uh, around them. But yeah, I guess I got it recently, but last year I got my evaluation done, and I guess I was diagnosed as psychotic, and I was, yeah, like with everything that I've been through, I was, huh? Yeah, but that's how bad. I mean, I guess it was with women growing up in my life.
Yeah.
It was just pretty.
So let's talk about the woman who stayed.
The woman that stayed.
Yeah.
She's
How are you hurting her now, and why do you think that is?
uh, why am I hurting her now? We haven't been together in what, how long? 7 months, 8 months. We've been uh, we've been broken up and single for like 8 months. Um, uh, at the time when I first got with her, it was just to fill the void, because I still wanted a woman in my life. I didn't expect to fall in love with her. I just thought she was just gonna be something that was just temporary. I didn't think.
I'm sorry, could you reiterate because there's a lady asking that you said your girl left and wouldn't let you see the kids. So this is a different
We're gonna get into
story.
no, we're gonna get into all that.
Right, right.
Yeah, we're gonna get into all that. Right now we're just talking about the beginning of our relationship.
Okay.
Um, So I didn't think me and her were gonna. I don't think we were gonna. It wasn't gonna be something serious. Uh, I just. mhm. It just happened, like we just both fell in love with each other. She was going through a difficult thing with her life and her situation. You mind if I tell? Her ex.
You covered up the speaker, can't hear.
Oh, okay. Her ex had just hung himself in front of her and her mom. You know,
I'm so
she
sorry.
was going through some things herself. Um, she was very emotional. I guess because she had this traumatic, event happen. So I didn't know how to deal with that, and it kind of angered me because all she would talk about is this dude, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. Like, fuck that dude. He's dead. I don't care. The fuck you telling me for? You with me now? Worry about me. Stop. I don't fuck him. That's how I was. That's how my mind was. You know,
Yeah.
I have a spark when I talk about her. Oh yeah. But yeah, she was going through some things, and I didn't. I mean, I felt bad, but I was like, "Fuck that," fuck that dude, man. Shit, I'm here. The fuck you worried about him for? And it pissed me off.
Mm.
And but I didn't know how. I've been locked up most of my life. I didn't know how to deal with that, and it was wrong. Until I realized one day that like, hey, that's pretty shitty of me. And so I told her, I was like, I don't remember what I told her. It was a phone call, or was it a letter? It was a letter. Yeah, it was on the app. I don't remember what I told her, but I had to finally realize that, hey, that wasn't good. That was pretty shitty. I mean, she was going through things, and she needed somebody, to, I guess, to listen or to comfort her while she was going through this. And I mean, I just kept forgetting that this had just happened. Right before she met me, this had just happened. But my own little mind, I was closed off, and like I said, if you're with me, it's all about me. You're gonna only think about me. And that's how I was thinking at the time.
Right. Let's see. Been through a lot.
Yeah. Um. It's just I don't know. This one was she was different. We're not together. She was different than the rest of my exes. I don't know. She even though we weren't together, and she would still make sure that I was, you know, that I was good. Like my other exes didn't check on me. They didn't call. They didn't they didn't give a fuck. But this one will call. Hey, you're good. Hey, you're all right. I mean, eventually it wore off, but she did. Still check on me at those times that I needed it. She still made sure I was good.
Do you think you were trauma bonded to her? Like you guys were trauma bonded?
Each other.
Yeah.
We were trauma bonded to each other. Yeah,
Yeah.
she's right here.
Hi,
By the way.
Simone.
So yeah,
So, do you believe you're still worthy of love after everything you've been through?
love. Uh, I don't know if I'll ever find love. Well, for me, anyways, I want it, but I don't think.
Do you think you deserve it?
Do I deserve it? One side of me does. I guess the inner child of me that was stolen from me is still in there and wants that.
Me too.
Like I want, like I get separation anxiety. I guess that event when my mom, when they took us away from my mom that day, and it was pretty scary. And I told y'all, like we fought. We fought, even though we knew my mom was a danger to us. We fought those people. We tried to find them out to stay with my mom, and I guess that's what started my separation anxiety. So I still think, I mean, I want love, but I don't know about most men, but all my time in prison, all I thought about was getting out and having a family. That's all I wanted was a family, not a broken family. I wanted one family where me and my partner were together under one roof. That's all I ever wanted. That's always been my dream. That's all, my every wish, and I never.
So, do you think that if love ever found its way to you, that you would be blinded from the trauma that you've been through to realize that it was true love?
uh, I think, yeah, I'll be blinded. I wouldn't. I mean, I guess to me, I've matured more than what I used to be. I was a real monster back then. I used to, to be honest with you, I used to be abusive to women because I hated women. The way women treated me growing up, and I didn't care. I was like, ain't no woman gonna ever treat me like my mom did. So if you put me in a position where I thought, you were gonna be like my mom, I just went into protection mode. I didn't stop. I didn't realize that, and I ended up stopping becoming that person when I ended up with this baby mama. She's the one that helped. This is the one that helped me realize everything. This is the one that helped me mature. This is the one that helped put a stop to a lot of things in my life. Even though we're not together, this is the one that I guess they I guess killed that demon inside of me, and helped me realize how to be a functional man here in society. Like I guess you would call it.
Do you feel like she mothered your inner child?
Um. To be honest, I don't. She probably did, but I don't think she did. I don't know, to be honest. I don't know why or how, but this ex right here, she made a lot of changes in my life. I owe a lot to her, even though she can be mean. Um, she's made a lot of big changes in my life that I didn't ever think I was gonna be able to overcome myself. Uh,
You wouldn't say that that was love?
yeah, I mean, for someone to stick
I see your,
around like
I
that,
see your
and
face light up when you talk about her, and everybody in the chat also sees that. So, um,
uh, yeah, it has to be love, for somebody to deal with everything that I dished out, because I would test girls, I would test them. I was like, "You're gonna be with me. I'm gonna put you through a test. We're gonna see how much of me you can handle, before I can even, before I can even love you,
right.
before I can even commit to you. I'm gonna put you through these tests, and I put them through hell and back just to see if they were worthy.
Yeah.
The one that this ex right here was the one that stuck it out with all the bullshit, all the demons, all the everything. She stuck it out until I finally became. I finally just she broke that person. She's the one that killed those demons inside of me and put them away. And then I mean, I realized a lot of things now of how bad of a person I was. And
Yeah.
that a lot of girls didn't deserve the stuff that I put them through. Um, I just I realized I hurt a lot of people because of what people did to me. I guess my relationship with my mom, I just, damn, and I sit back and think about it. I was like, damn, I was real messed up. Like I would have my exes sitting in the corner waiting for my next command. You know, um, very. I was real command. Like I was real like bad to people. Yeah.
Demanding. Did you hear me?
Huh?
Did you hear me? Demanding. You were real demanding.
Yeah.
Okay. Um. So can I let you in on a little secret? That's love. That's love. That's real love. From the heart, it's real love. I've had my twin flame. I've had my soulmate who passed away 3.5 years ago. That's love right there. Somebody who can accept you for who you are, all the demons and all the flaws. Moving on. Segment 4, responsibility, heartbreak, legacy, recovery, and goodbye. I know this one's going to be a hard one. Okay.
Yep.
Okay. What kind of father do you want to be remembered as?
I want to be remembered as a father that, that that loved my kids and that I didn't that was always willing to be there. I was always a phone call away. My other kids in Texas, I don't really get to see them. My ex gave my daughter up for adoption while I was in prison. Um, but when I got out of prison, I tried to go get her. That was like it's already too late. The adoption's been final for years. And I was like, well, can I talk to her? Is there a way I can see her? Well, that's like, well, that's up to her adopted parents now. They own her now. And so I was like, that was a moment that broke me. And I guess, uh, I went looking for my baby mama. I was intent on taking her out. She was gonna die as soon as I found her because she gave up my daughter for adoption, and now I can't get her. So uh, I went to go buy a few guns, and I put out the word: if y'all see my baby mama, there was a reward. You know, and there was a green light on her. So I was involved. Um, I'm not an active member no more. I'm still a member, but I'm not an active member. But I can't. In prison, I was part of a family that started in California, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So yeah, I put a green light on her, and it was all go, no questions asked. And um, uh, she ended up finding out that I was looking for her. She went into hiding. But so I started posting pictures, old pictures of that I found of me and my daughter. I started posting them on because I had another TikTok page before this, but I can't log into it anymore. But I had pictures on there of me and her, and I started putting them on social medias, Facebook, Insta, and here on TikTok. And eventually, we found each other. And for like a month, we were in contact. She was like, "Dad, I want you to come to my 15." By this time, yeah, she was already about to be 15. And I was like, "Look, I'm sorry how everything turned out." I was like, "I've been looking for you all these years." She's like, "I know. A lot of people send me, and, a lot of people sent me, or sent her links on my page and stuff. They reached out to her, told her I was looking for her, and for a month we were talking. We were video chatting, but I told her, I was like, "I don't want to take you out the situation that you're in. You got a way better life than I can offer you." And I was like, "I'm proud that you're there. It hurts, it sucks. But I can't take you out of that lifestyle. You can't come home with me. You're in a better place than I can offer you." So she was with these rich family out there, and
You need to take a break.
nah,
Okay.
um, and so one day she was cleaning her room while we were video chatting, and her adopted mom came into the room, and she was like, "Who are you video chatting with?" And she looked at the phone. She's like, "Who are you?" And I was like, I'm Mariah's, I'm her dad." And she was like, "When did y'all start talking?" I was like, "We've been talking a little over a month now." And she clicked the phone, and she disconnected the phone. She disconnected on my daughter's social medias, and now we lost each other again. And I lost my little girl.
Maybe she'll see this.
She's somewhere, like by Plano and Frisco, somewhere in that area. But I hope she does.
Yeah.
But at least I got to tell her what I needed to tell her. At least she knows that I never gave up looking for her. Like her mom gave her up, but she knows that I didn't want to give her up. And at least she knows now that I love her. Uh, that she can always find me. I gave her an address where she can always find me. It's a person that will never move. Just in case she can't find me anywhere else, she can go to that address when she gets older, and they'll know where I'm at or how to reach out to me. So I'm just hoping, once it turns 18, that I get that call.
Well, we'll be posting clips on here. I'll make sure to get this as a clip, and on everybody in the chat when it posts, please share it out. Maybe we'll find his daughter for him. Let's work together. Um, how does it feel knowing that you're leaving a pregnant woman behind and that your newborn won't have you for a while?
Oh, we just got some. Sonia, come here. So, I think we might have got some bad news last night,
Yeah.
right? We're gonna have to, but she might have. I have to say it though.
You don't have to. If you don't want to answer the question, um, if you don't
She
want,
might have had a miscarriage last night.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah. So, mm,
Well, maybe after this, you'll still have a few hours to try again.
no, that's not. She, yeah.
I'm so sorry.
All right.
I know
Uh,
you. I know the other day you were so excited. I seen your video. You were so excited about it.
uh, I was. It was just yesterday was just emotional. Like I didn't plan on telling nobody. I just barely started telling people yesterday. I think, or yeah, but I was nobody knew I was gonna go to jail. I didn't really tell nobody until I posted my first video. I only let a handful, maybe less than 5 people knew that I was gonna go. Like I guess 3 days before I was gonna go, but nobody knew till yesterday. I was my first video. I didn't tell nobody. My family doesn't even know yet. But if they see my video on TikTok, they probably know now. So
What do you want your children to know while you're gone?
I only get to see this one right here now, but he's just looking at me right now. Uh, I just want him to know that I love him. I always love him, and that I will come out for him. I'll come looking for him. I'm never gonna give up loving him. I'm never gonna stop being a father. No matter what. Uh,
What do you think it's gonna be like fathering him from behind bars?
Fathering him from behind bars. uh, it's gonna be it's gonna be there. It is. Say hey. I'm trying to do the best. I'm trying to do the best that I can with how my dad did. With me, and make my presence known, and uh, make my presence. I mean, the way my dad did it, it just felt like he was never gone. It's like he never left in the first place, and that's how I wanted to be for him. I wanted to feel him to feel the same way my dad made me feel. Like I'm at work or something. Like I'm still there. Like he could still feel my presence there. He could still feel my love. He could still feel like that father figure that he needs. And that's what I want to do. I just hope he doesn't forget about me. He's said now this is the love of my life right here.
Kids take a special place in our hearts.
I think. I mean, you're not supposed to have favorites with kids.
You're not supposed to voice them. You
But
can
this is the
have
one that,
favorites. You're just not supposed to voice them.
yeah. But this is the one that I've actually got to be there, a part of. More than anything else. Like this is the one I got to be involved in more. Like growing, like him watching him as a baby, learning how to change diapers, uh, learning how to take baby a bath. Like I've never done any of that with all my kids because I was like, I've been in prison and shit. So this is watching him learn how to crawl, learning how to get up and down the stairs now, up and down the couch and the bed. Um, Learning, like the foods and how to feed them and what to feed them and how to make a bottle at
Yeah.
what temperatures and all this stuff. Like this is all new to me. So with this one, I was able to finally do all that, and it was just, uh, oh no, how did I do? Huh? Think I did good? Be honest. It's funny,
Can I get everybody in the chat to chat, please?
huh?
I was talking to the chat.
That was what?
I was like, I think it's funny to watch a new dad experience everything brand new, especially even though you've already been a father for so many years, but to watch you fully, um, him fully be a full-time parent was amazing. Like I already knew he was going to be an amazing dad just because from when I first met him until when we found out I was pregnant, and then him throughout my whole entire pregnancy, he was so attentive. He never made me go without. He took care of me. Um, I had a lot of medical issues, so like he helped me a lot with all of it. And then even when he was incarcerated, like he made sure even through over messages and phone calls, he was like, like how is the baby? Like, like are you guys okay? And then he got out, and that's all he wanted to do was see his son. And we made it happen no matter what. We went through hell and high water so that he could see his son. And it was so funny just because I know that he has all that love in him, and he has it in him to love the right way. You just have to be super patient with him. And I think we've been around each other for almost 3 years, and I've been super patient with him. And it's hard and it's rough and it takes a lot, but he has the love that he needs to love somebody.
And you ever feel like you're gonna break?
I have on occasion with him. Like right now, we have a little stint where we're not together right now. Like we are not, but like, I tell him all the time, do I think that I want to try again? Like, I still love you? Like that's never going to go away. We have a son together. We planned on having another baby, and I don't know like what's going on with me right now, but maybe it's still there. Maybe it's not. We don't know. But I wouldn't want to have another child with someone I don't love. Wouldn't want to have another child with someone I just didn't want to be with.
Yeah.
Now, do I feel that he needs a little bit to grow and to do some self-reflection? Yes. And he has, maybe this time away, I'm hoping that it's not forever. It's going to be a little bit. And I'll still be here, even though I tell him I'm not going to be. I'll still be here. I can't just, like, walk away. Like, that's just not how I would raise. And I love him. Like, I love him. And I want nothing but the best for him. I see that he needs someone to, and I tell him this all the time, he needed someone to show him what true love looked like. He needed to show what, consistency. He needs the consistency in his life. He needs that person that's going to be patient and willing to wait and be understanding because of his background. We come from the same background. We didn't have it easy as children, so I can relate to a lot of things that he's been through. So I think that's why other females didn't make it, and I'm still here. And no matter what happens, I'm still gonna be here. I've said it from day one. I'm never I may get mad at him, and I may like say, I can't. I'm not doing this. Like don't call me, don't message me. Like I can't because yeah. I'm just like I'm here. Like but the thing is, it's repetitive. You know what I mean? It's the same cycle, and I'm trying to help him break that cycle for him.
Right. Well, hopefully this will help him getting this out. I commend you for your strength and your patience.
I try. I was like, that's why he's here. Every time he goes through it, I'm like, you know what? Just give yourself time, and then you know what? Call me when you'll call me, and I'll come. He's never not called me once. As many times as we've gone through it, he's never not called me once, and I've not shown up. Never.
That's awesome.
Yes.
That's love. That's love. That's real love. I think you know that, you're just afraid of it, but that's just my opinion. So, some harder questions, okay?
Yeah.
You've been clean for 2 years. Are you afraid of losing your sobriety behind the walls?
Yeah, that's something I face every day. especially now that this is something I face every day. This is something that, man, especially now that I'm about to go in. I only got 11. I got 2 hours left of freedom.
And I'm so
And
thankful that you chose to be here for at least that hour.
yeah, and it's just, yeah, I want to go out. Yeah, I want to go out. I want to go get some. I want to go get high as fuck, and I just want to forget and drown the pain because I know if I'm high, I wouldn't be crying. And it'll, it'll numb the emotions. And my son wouldn't have to see me this way. I'm not scared to go back. It's just um, leaving my boy behind. You know.
Is that
Um,
not a fear of its own?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I can do time. I've been doing time all my life. Time is not a problem, especially here in Colorado because it's nothing like Texas. It's way softer than Texas. Um, it's just, at least I know I wouldn't be crying right now.
Yeah.
My son would have to see me this way. Nobody would have to see me this way.
So how have you mentally prepared yourself to no to walk yourself back in knowing what's waiting for you behind the walls?
Really, I just been living life um, with a smile on my face. Um, smiling like I'm fine, like nothing's gonna happen. Uh, that's how I just live my life these past, uh, mm, yeah, for the past couple of years. Because I've been fighting this case for 2 years, but I didn't find out till 6 months ago that I was going. But so they left me out. They left. They like you can stay out. You're not on an ankle monitor. You got to report to nobody. And so I could have just easily left and went to Mexico or back to Texas, and they would have never known till today. So for 6 months I could have been gone and they would have never known. But I just and any other person probably would have done it. I just can't do that to my little boy because I know he's gonna need me in the end, and I can't do nothing for him if I'm on a run.
Yeah.
Um, do I want to? I mean, it's just I've never thought that I would be the person that would turn myself in when it's time to turn myself in. I wasn't supposed to turn myself into the 27th, but things are happening, and so I have to go in today.
So if you had 5 minutes alone with your children, what would you say to them?
I stayed up when we talked last night. And I thought about that question all night. All night. I laid up there and I was just next to my son. And I just want him to know that I'm not gonna give up, and I'm not gonna be gone forever, and that I'm always gonna love him, and that I'm coming back, and I'm coming back a better person uh,
I'm
for
so
him.
glad you have that mindset.
Um, but that's what I want. I want him and my other kids to know. Even though I don't get to see my other kids, he's the only one right now that I get to see. I guess.
Yeah.
I just that I still love him, and I'm coming back, and I'm gonna be the better dad that he needs. Uh, I'm not going anywhere, so just know I'm coming back home. Just know I love you, and I'm gonna do my best while I'm locked up, to give you that father figure that you need.
Which leads me to my very last question. What does freedom mean to you now? And how are you going to fight for that from the inside?
Freedom means I lost a lot of people when I was in prison before, so I know how it is to lose somebody while you're locked up and you can't go to the funeral.
Yeah.
And now that I have a son that I got to, see from him being born to where he's at now and learning all these new things, help me put a new I guess value and meaning on life and freedom. Um, so I know I'm just trying to do what I can now to, I guess, get out of prison as fast as I can. Go in there, do what I got to do to come back and be a part of his life. Because, man, before I didn't care. Before I was like, fuck it, I'll go to prison. I've already been to prison. I don't do time in my life. It's not a thing. Fuck it. I'm gonna go in there. I'm gonna get on my feet. I'm gonna go sell drugs while I'm in there. So I have big money and stuff. And that's what I did. This time I just want to hurry up and get in and out so I can get back in his life. You know?
So are you serving a 6 flat, or do you have a?
I won't know until I get there. I won't know what year it is, but it's 3 to 6. But I'll find out when I get there.
Okay.
So
I want to thank you for your courage.
I've already got a year back time. So I don't know how it is here in Colorado, but I've got a year back time credited to whatever time I do and whatever they give me, which I'm hoping for the bare minimum, which is 3. You know.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I do got some family here, not blood family, but Cass, Bree, King, the Gingerbread Man, Lanessa, Vanessa, all of y'all. Those were Kesh. Those were that's my TikTok family right there. News Life, all of y'all know that was my TikTok family. We were live every day. We talked, we lifted each other up. Uh, so I appreciate all of y'all for being there through all this. They were the first ones to know. Before I told anybody, they were the first ones to know. Cody, all of y'all.
So if you could help one person, what would you say to them in their situation?
That in the end, you have to put your pride to a side. My pride got the best of me because I was like, you got me messed up. I'm not no pussy, I'm not no hoe. Um, they're not gonna, they're not gonna do what do what you think you're gonna do and think, then think I'm just gonna bow down and shit like that. Got me messed up. So, um, pride was my biggest downfall. And my image was my biggest downfall. Trying to live up to the image that I was before, knowing that I'm not that person no more. That person died a long time ago, but I'm still here. I am trying to live, that life and stuff, and it's not worth it. That pride, that image, that ego, let that die. That it can hurt you in the long run, and it can take away the things that you love most. It can take it away from you in the blink of an eye. Um, let that old lifestyle go. Let that ego go. Let that pride go. Um, be the man that you need to be for the people that need you and love you the most. Because that mistake cost me my freedom, and now it costing me my son.
Well, I want to thank you for coming on. I know you took some time away from spending with your family and your son to be here and share your story. I do greatly appreciate that. With that being said, you just heard an unfiltered truth of a man without nothing left to hide and everything left to lose. A father, a survivor, a soul who's been through the kind of fire that doesn't just burn you, it brands you. As he prepares to turn himself in, we are reminded that healing isn't always about walking forward. Sometimes it's about surviving what you have to walk back into. Behind those prison walls is a man who knows the cost of freedom, the weight of fatherhood, and the pain repeating cycles you never asked to be born into. To the listeners out there fighting for their own demons, trying to stay clean, trying to break patterns, trying to stay alive, this voice was for you. And if you felt it in your chest, you are not alone. Share this episode with someone who needs it, because you never know who's one story away from choosing to keep going. Thank you for listening to The Power of One Voice. Until next time, stay rare, stay raw, stay rooted, and stay reaching for your healing, because one voice can really change everything. I have a couple of places, maybe for your family or for yourself. It's the Prison Fellowship Family Support Program. I don't know, do you want to write this down, or if you think you can remember it?
Yeah.
Or I can screenshot it and send it to you.
Yeah, if you can screenshot it and send it to me.
Absolutely. NAM, the National Alliance for Mental Illness. Fatherhood.org, support for incarcerated fathers. Hotline for survivors of childhood abuse, 1-800 for a child. And a book, The Boy Who Was Raised as a Dog, by Bryce Perry.
Good one.
Good book. Thank you so much. I'm going to black out the screen, and then I'm going to let them ask some questions, okay? Is
All
that
right.
okay with you?
Yeah, they can ask questions.
If anybody in the panel would like to ask any questions, please feel free.
I do want to let people know, like here in Colorado right now, it is 11:20.
I was just going to say the same thing. Keep him short, because remember, he doesn't have much time with his family.
But I'm going to go live as I'm heading there here at 12:45 in
And
Colorado.
whoever has that, will somebody have that live, that little clip? Somebody can send me a clip. I'll add that to your YouTube.
Yeah, it's 11:20 right now, so I don't know what time it is in the states that y'all watching from.
120 here.
So at 12:45, I will go live. Love you too, Cassie. Thanks, for you and everybody that was there for me.
Jen said, good luck. You can call me. You got my number.
Yeah.
I'm here for you.
Jen, what's my long-term goals, besides being there for your kids? My long-term goals while I'm in here, I'm going to make the best of this, I don't never go to prison and not just do anything like a lot of people do. I've been in prison where people just done time for 35 years straight and still don't know how to read a book, or still don't know how to write. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to make my time productive, I like to read philosophy books, and I like to read